Rusame reader, Crow Song, and today I will be reading to you from Black Coffee by MysterySaviour. Now, on to Act 1, Chapter 9.
Россия, подними свою ленивую задницу с постели.
That roughly translates to, Russia, get your lazy ass out of bed. On Tuesday morning, Russia was unceremoniously woken up by being jumped on and yelled at, like most mornings.
Заткнись, слезь.
Which roughly translates to, shut up, get off. Russia groaned, pulling his warm woolen sheets over his head to try and block out the sunlight that had been released into his bedroom. Nuh-uh, Papa says you gotta get up and help make breakfast. Russia's younger brother, Sovi, chimed, still jumping up and down on Russia's bed, almost sending his older brother flying multiple times. Хорошо.
Я встану. Просто оставь меня в покое.
Which roughly translates to, all right, I'll get up. Just leave me alone. Okie dokie, Sophie sang, jumping onto the floor with surprising grace for a 6-year-old. Just don't be grumpy, okay? You're annoying when you're all grumpy. I'm grumpy because you jump on me, you little devil! The Russian roared as he leapt out of bed and scooped up Sophie in his arms, tickling his sides and growling. The monster! Sophie screamed, laughing hysterically and squirming. That's what you get for disrespecting me, you moshennik. Moshennik roughly translates to rascal. An amused chuckle from the doorway startled Russia out of Big Brother mode as he looked up to greet his father, who seemed very entertained by the sight of Sophie hanging upside down. Papa! Help me! Sophie cried, getting tickled by Russia once more. USSR shook his head with a laugh, walking over to his youngest son and Slav squatting in order to be face-to-face with him. Russia ceased his torture for a moment so that his father would be able to actually somewhat hold a conversation with this mischievous child. It seems like you deserve your fate soon, but I might help you if you apologize to the monster. Never! Sophie pouted, crossing his arms and poking his tongue out to punctuate his point. The Red Army shrugged and grinned evilly. Then you deserve no mercy. No! Sophie wailed pathetically as both Russian countries tickled him. Luckily for him, he was saved just in time by the red-colored angel who entered the room. All right, you three. I think that's enough fun. Come on, I'm sure you're all starving. Nazi smiled, holding his arms open as Sophie was released from his death sentence. Papa! Sophie squealed, relieved. He ran straight into his mother's arms and hugged him tight, blowing a raspberry at his older brother and father. Russia pulled the filly safe in retaliation and sent Sophie into laughter once more. USSR picked Nazi up in bridal style while Sophie was still in his arms, sending both of them into surprised giggles. Bashien? That roughly translates to little bear. Nazi asked with a blush. USSR hummed, walking down the stairs with his husband and youngest son in his arms, Russia in tow. Nazi just smiled and shook his head, snuggling into the Soviet Union's warm chest. USSR looked at Russia and raised an eyebrow. Do you want to join in as well? Russia snorted and lightly punched his dad's strong shoulder. Oh, please, Papa, I know how to walk. To absolutely not prove his point, He stumbled on the last stair on the way to the kitchen. You were saying? Russia pretended to mope as his father lowered the two countries in his arms to the ground in order for Nazi to return to his cooking. Sylvie just running out and hiding behind the wall with a squeal. Could you put the kettle on, please, Rusland? Russia nodded and turned on the machine, pulling out 4 mugs from the cupboard above it. One was red with white and gold stars all over it. The second had a map of Germany with a smiley face. The third had a binder on it saying paperwork schmaperwork. And his had a Russian nesting doll with a smaller doll out in the open. He knew how everyone liked their coffee or tea, as this was a routine every morning. It would get boring if he didn't enjoy every second he spent with his relatives. Do you need a hand, Lubov? USSR asked his husband, wrapping his arms around his waist and nuzzling his head into the shorter man's shoulder blades. Well, after you've finished being clingy, it would be wonderful if you could boil the eggs, Nazi teased, turning his head to kiss his lover's cheek and bat his brown ushanka over his eyes. Sylvie whined in disgust at his father's show of affection and pretended to gag, receiving a tired chuckle from his older half-brother, Germany, who had just entered the kitchen. He had bags under his eyes, but covered them fairly well with his glasses. He wore a beige turtleneck with a black scarf and pair of jeans. Guten Morgen, Russia greeted with a thick accent. He wasn't really the best with hiding his Russian twang when he was speaking other languages. You're dressed nice. Going somewhere, brother. Germany shrugged and stole a Russian tea biscuit from the plate Nazi had already set up, earning a slight slap on the hand from the chef. Nein, these are for breakfast.
Sei geduldig.
The German roughly translates to no and be patient. Entschuldigung, Papa. Germany apologized, returning the treat to the plate and turning to Russia once more, who had begun pouring water into each of the mugs. Nowhere special, really, just going out to see Poland. Russia raised an eyebrow and smirked at his older half-brother. He was only older by a month, but would use this small advantage to rub in his face whenever they had an argument. Germany scowled at him, cheeks flushing. Wipe that look off your face. It's nothing, Russland. USSR took this as an opportunity to butt in. I'd hardly call the look you give that boy nothing. Germany sent him a confused glare, face flushing even more. What look, Papa? Oh, is this about that Poland boy? He seems so sweet, Deutschland. A perfect fit for you, Nazi added. Not you too, Papa! Germany groaned, pulling his face down with his hands. Oh, mein Gott! Deutschland, look at those bags under your eyes! Nazi fussed, checking every inch of Germany to make sure he was fine.
Es geht mir gut, Papa. Halt beunruhigen.
Which roughly translates to, I'm fine, Dad. Stop worrying.
Mein armes Baby, du musst besser auf dich aufpassen.
Which translates to, my poor baby, you need to take care of yourself. Nazi wailed again, cradling Germany in a tight hug, like he was a child who had woken up from a traumatic nightmare. Germany writhed in agony, trying to escape his father's fretful grip, mumbling various words of irritation under his breath as Third Reich peppered motherly kisses all over his face. USSR placed a comforting red hand on Nazi's shoulder and kissed his forehead, trying to calm him down without words. Despite his calm demeanor, he shot Russia a wink with a barely hidden smile, seemingly charmed by his spouse's overwhelming concern. Russia snickered and sent a wink back, signaling to his dad that he understood the situation. It was really too humorous to let go of. "How does it feel being the baby, Germany?" Sylvie gloated, happy to finally not be the poor soul Nazi made commotion over. Germany sent him a withering glare and mouthed something like, "I will kill you and they are never going to find your body," to the triumphant 6-year-old. Sylvie pretended not to be threatened, but a nervous gulp gave him away. Russia smiled at his family's antics as he gathered up the mugs and positioned them at everyone's allocated seats at the dining table. He also grabbed the completed plates by sidestepping his kooky parents and suffering brother and set up the table as much as he could. Just as he was about to start washing the dishes, the worst thing that could have happened happened. "What about Rusland? He doesn't eat nearly enough and always wakes up more tired than he was the day before." Russia spun on his heel to glare at Germany for ratting him out. If looks could kill, the European country would have disintegrated right there in his father's arms. "Sukkablet! Mein Hanem ist Russland!" That roughly translates to, "My poor Russia," Nazi cried, releasing a grateful Germany and instead embracing his very tall, not really son.
Sie müssen auch auf sich selbst aufpassen.
Which roughly translates to, "You need to take care of yourself too." Russia awkwardly pat Nazi's back as his stepfather bombarded him with motherly kisses as well, making the Russian man pretty uncomfortable. USSR decided to take pity on his son and gently dislodged his partner from the awkward boy. Russia expected to be set free, but was instead pulled into another hug, this time by USSR. He relaxed into the hug and sighed as his father tucked Russia's head under his chin.
Знаете, он прав.
That roughly translates to, "He's right, you know," his dad admitted softly.
Мы очень любим тебя, сынок, и хотим, чтобы ты был в безопасности и здоров.
Which roughly translates to, "We love you a lot, son, and we want you to be safe and healthy." Я знаю, папа. Спасибо. That translates to, "I know, Dad. Thank you." Soviet Union offered him one last squeeze before pulling back, smiling empathetically. He clapped him on the back in an attempt to apologize for threatening Russia's manliness with hugs, provoking a laugh from the red, white, and blue country human. "Now," Nazi chirped, grabbing the rest of the plates and handing some to Germany to take to the table. "Who's ready for breakfast?" And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.